Thomas Ampem,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Please introduce yourself to the committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Thomas Ampem, the Deputy Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Richard Chunebo-Akodua. I'm the Director for Research, National Development Planning Commission.
Thank you. My name is Jemila Tusoyi Niseidu, Senior Internal Auditor, National Development Planning Commission.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Tufo, NDPC Head of Accounts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Michelle Fafa Agbenoto, Senior Information Officer and Head of Public Relations, NDPC.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman. My name is Nana Jumo Bene, CEO of Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Reginald Okai. I'm the Chief Finance Officer for Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. I'm Jabanane, Head of Internal Audit, MPRA.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is Chris Buedi Mensah, CEO, MPRA.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman. My name is Anthony Akwa, Director, Standards and Compliance, NPRA.
Okay. We'll be looking at your financial, that's National Pensions Regulatory Authority. You are here, right? Yes. Okay. We'll be looking at your financials, and Honorable Enim will start with that one.
Thank you, Chairman. MPRA, so we'll be considering your financial performance and financial position. For your financial performance, your bottom line improved from a surplus position of 25 million to 30 million in 2023. But I just want us to go through a few of the expenditure lines where I feel you had gone over a certain threshold here, because I'm looking at the increases you made in your revenue. And if you made a positive change of almost 34%, but then on your expenditure lines, you went over 91 and 40% and 37.3%. I want to understand.
Mr. Chairman, can you respectfully direct us to the paragraph you are?
So this is 1021 to 1029. Minister, are you there?
Not yet, but you can proceed.
Okay, so I just want to understand your goods and services. It went up by almost 40% from between 2022 and 2023. And then your other expenses, can you tell us what constitutes your other expenses? Since we don't really have a separate lines for the different expenditure items. So I'm looking at the two things, goods and services. Then on other expenses, what constitute your other expenses and why it went up by 92%?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the goods and services, it was due to the expansions of our offices across the country. So open other two zonal offices and also increase the capacity of the staff in other zonal offices. So that led to the goods and services increase.
And what about the other expenses? What expenditure lines come under other expenses?
So, Mr. Chairman, the other expenses, it has to do with the renovation of some of our existing offices across the zonal offices, and other expenditures that did not fall into goods and services.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. So we move to your financial position. I think for between 2022 2023, you improved on your current ratio, which is a good sign here, and the changes aren't so drastic or huge. So, Mr. Chair, I think we can move on.
All right, thank you. Now let's go to the management issue, and Honorable Akwesi Kwenedo will handle that one, please.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, this has to do with the delay in collection of fees, and there seems to be an impasse between NPRA and SNIT as to how much SNIT should be paying NPRA for the administrative expenses. If you look at Act 1080, that gives you the mandate to collect those fees. It is about 2.5 of the previous year's administrative fees that they ought to give to you. I think in your response, you said negotiations between yourself and SNIT was that SNIT proposed to pay 1 million Ghana cedis for that, and that you found very inadequate for you to carry out your mandate. And you made a counter proposal of 5 million Ghana cedis. And you said SNIT was considering that, and you left it at the table of the Minister for Labor Relations. What is the status of this relationship between the two of you? Because you are supposed to receive about 18 million per the auditor's observation. What is the status of it now? And whilst at that, to be helpful for us to appreciate and understand, if you can tell us the mandate for which you seek that amount of money to do, and why the counter proposal of 5 million, not the 1 million, so that when we have something better to add on to push it, then we can. So your mandate and why that impasse is still existing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I will speak briefly about it and will defer to the CEO for NPRA to also add some if he so wishes. This issue has been a long-standing issue between the NPRA and SNIT. And over the years, SNIT has refused to make payments to NPRA. This year, the issue was brought to our attention, and so I had a meeting between the Director MD for SNIT and the CEO for NPRA, and we had some resolution. SNIT over the years has maintained that unlike the Tier 2 and Tier 3 pension funds that are licensed by NPRA, SNIT is a legal creation. And so they felt that they did not have to pay the fees to NPRA. But NPRA has been providing services regulating the entire pension architecture. And so we had a fruitful meeting, and even though SNIT maintained that the 2.5% of their previous year's administrative expense is quite high, they are willing to pay something. So we have agreed, and this year SNIT has made 2 payments, first quarter, second quarter payments to NPRA. And so there is some kind of resolution so far, even though they are not getting the full amount that they would have loved to get, the 2.5 that amounts to the 18 million plus that we are talking about. But we have some kind of understanding. I think in the first quarter they paid 1.7 million. They've paid another 1.7 million in the second quarter. They will continue to make those payments. So that is the progress we have made so far. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So now there seems to be a settled understanding of about paying quarterly. So that means you are going to have 4 tranches in the year of about 1.7 million. And having that amicable solution to it, won't that go against the law that we set by our own self, that the Act 1080? Because it would obviously go against that. You cannot bypass the law and have an agreement That is not in the law. Rather, you ought to therefore come for us to revise the law and probably put it where SNIT and the whole arrangement between yourself and Labor would agree, Ministry of Labor Relations would agree to it, so that it will not continuously be flagged. Because once you do 1.7 by 4, you are probably going to do just about below the 2.5, and they will continuously flag that. So what will be the solution that you proffer so that we can help you resolve this matter permanently?
Mr. Chairman, that is right. That is what we intend to do. But we had to build on what had been done in previous years. Because when we came, SNIT had offered to pay MPRA 1 million cedis, and MPRA rejected that amount. And so we had to follow up with those negotiations, and then we arrived at the 1.7 million a quarter times 4. And so it is an improvement over what has been done. But as you said, we need to interpret the law rightly. And if we feel that since SNIT is established by a legal creation, and MPRA does not necessarily license them, if they actually have to pay the full amount or if there has to be some waivers, that is something we will have to resolve eventually. But we had to build on the negotiation that was inconclusive last year to agree on an amount that will allow MPRA to operate while we look for a lasting solution to the misunderstanding. Thank you.
Auditors, can you please confirm such an arrangement being done, although it's outside the law, and these two payments being made currently?
Honorable Chair, we would be grateful if they can furnish us with that information, because per the last follow-up we did, we were given the information that the matter has been referred to the legal directorate of the authority to handle. So if there have been any further developments apart from this, we'll be happy to have the information. Thank you.
Okay, Minister, let's try and finish the auditors, but let us set it on record that up until we are able to either repeal the portion of this act, that is the 2.5, all the negotiations we are having is outside the law, and that is not right. We ought to be within the law up until we are able to set it aside. Because once we start negotiating outside the law, it will give an opportunity for others also to be playing the same line, which will not be beneficial for us. So we must be guided by some of these things whilst we go into negotiations of such nature. Thank you.
I totally agree.
Minister, is this part of the Fees and Charges Act?
It is.
And thankfully, you are reviewing the Fees and Charges Act. So maybe you should take the opportunity to fix it and make things right. You go through the process that we usually go through, and then you amend the fees and charges so that you know that you are not doing anything outside the law, but in the law. I know we were told that once we resume, we're going to lay the Fees and Charges Act. But I know it's not late, so you can still effect any changes that you want to. So,
Madam Chair, that is actually our plan, and we are working with the subsidiary legislation to do this. Thank you.
That notwithstanding, NPRA, SNIT will still have to. Who pays who? SNIT pays NPRA.
SNIT pays
SNIT will
NPRA.
still have to do the needful. And so, and something that can also enable NPRA carry out its mandate, because it also needs some level of revenue to enable it to carry out its mandate. So as for SNIT paying something, yes, but it should be commensurate with the kind of activities that MPRA takes. That will not also jeopardize the payment of SNIT contributions to beneficiaries. So we should look at that. Is NDPC here, please? Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair.
This relates to your financials. But before I go to your financials, share with us your current strategy and what you are doing to help the current government in place to fulfill its mandate in terms of the economic planning issues. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. So the National Development Planning Commission is mandated to advise the President on medium to long-term development strategy and planning. So on 4-year arrangements, we prepare medium term. The last one that was done was for 2022 up to 2025, which ends end of this year. So the Commission has put in place a new medium-term policy framework, which from last year through this year, 2025, has been shared with all the decentralized planning agencies. So the MDAs, the MMDAs, and the regions are preparing their development plans in line with this. We've also ensured that the new government's development priorities are in line so that from 2026 to 2029, we will be implementing these programs in alignment with the government priorities. So this has been done. We normally also add the planning guidelines. And I think for this planning arrangement, we have insisted with collaboration with Ministry of Finance and also Parliament that if plans are not prepared, the necessary budgetary allocations will not be made. And we are not just looking at having the plans prepared, but also certified, so that through the certification process, we will ensure a strong and effective alignment between what the planning authorities will be doing and what as a nation we also need to do. And that is what we are doing this year. Thank you. Thank you.
And Minister, I will want to use this opportunity to thank the Economic Committee of Parliament for the role they have played in ensuring that all covered entities submit their plans to NDPC. They made a profound statement that if you don't have a plan and you bring your budget here, Parliament will not approve your budget. And so when we were having budget hearings, we ensured that all the covered entities present their plans. We even withheld their third quarter allotments, that until you submit your plan for it to be certified by NDPC, you will not get releases, because the budget must emanate from the plan. If you don't have a plan, on what basis what are you annualizing? And so far the collaboration is working, and I can say that for the first time we have all covered entities rushing to NDPC, and NDPC have also been very, very supportive. I was told that they were working 24/7 to make sure that they work on the plans and submit same to us. And so that progress is being done. Since we are here on NDPC, I think it is important that we talk about the recent infrastructure plan that the NDPC launched. If you have an opportunity to see the plan, you are going to ask him. Okay, let me allow him to speak.
That's why I asked that they share with us.
Thank you. So let's allow them to.
Minister, you can brief us. It's fine.
Oh, no, it's a wonderful plan.
Yes.
And I think it is the way to go. That as a country, we need to have a plan that we work with so that we stop the knee-jerk reaction to implementation of our infrastructure needs. And President Mahama made a profound statement that we need a plan that will live beyond a political party. That is how to develop a country. Thank you.
So NDPC, I was going to ask you about the infrastructure plan and ask you whether we can put some measures in place to make sure that it is an infrastructure plan for the nation as a whole, so that beyond 4 years, we can still be guided by the infrastructure plan, because, you know, we all accept that we have a huge infrastructure gap. And so I was going to ask you to share that with us, and also what are your thoughts, what are your sentiments that beyond the 4 years, can this infrastructure plan live the test of time? That's what I was going to.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Chair. Yes, the Commission actually prepared the Ghana Infrastructure Plan 2017-2018. So effective 2018, the Infrastructure Plan has been under implementation. This was the time that the long-term development plan was also prepared, 2018 to 2057. So the infrastructure plan was the infrastructure component of the whole development plan that was prepared, and its implementation commenced. So what we launched recently was just to bring the citizens and all our partners, development partners, the private sector, and other financiers, that we have this plan that has been with us. Implementation commenced, but not all the things that we scheduled to implement were being implemented the way we wanted it. And so to go strictly by that infrastructure plan, we want to ensure that the plans that are being prepared now for implementation, the infrastructure components will stand out, and then the schedule for implementation, the financing arrangements and all that will be analyzed critically, scheduled, spaced, and also sequenced in a manner that we would not default on the critical things that need to be implemented. So these cover the energy issues, we have agriculture, the roads, highways, all infrastructure components come under this. The beauty of it is that we have a government which has also indicated under a big push arrangement to roll out the implementation of all infrastructure that will support our economic development. We do not want the situation where these programs that will be implemented will not all the MGAs, because for public infrastructure projects, you need to have them scheduled, and then the costing and the implementation also streamlined, so that we do not add onto it what we have started and we have not completed. One critical area is to ensure that the backlog of infrastructure that we have not effectively implemented can be front-loaded, so we deliver on those ones before new ones are also brought on board. So that is the arrangement we have in place.
So then I'm convinced that it moves beyond 4 years, and we'll also make sure we support to make us close the infrastructure gap that we have in the country. Let me go to your financial performance. You are able to at least cover your short-term liability, so that is fine. But I want you to look at your goods and services. I realize that your goods and services far outweigh your compensation. What is your staff strength?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the financials, let me pass on to the mic.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the staff strength, including those on posting and secondment, we are about 54. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Because I see a huge goods and services component, but your compensation is, I think, about a little over 1/3 of that. So I was wondering why. But like I said, on the whole, we need to support you to make sure all the plans that you have put in place in the medium-term development framework rolls out as it's supposed to roll out. So you have an ally with this community, with this committee, and we'll be happy to support you any day, anytime you call upon us. So on this note, I'm done with you. Everything is fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, are we dismissed?
Yes, SNIT is not here. So you are discharged, and then you come with them when they are coming. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, we ask that they do not stand in our way of completing this report. Looks like we have attended to almost everybody. Everybody is on schedule. So we ask that we will complete this schedule, this particular one, on Friday, and we'll be grateful if they can attend upon us before we end, so that we can submit this report to Parliament in this very sitting.
Honestly, I didn't know SNIT was supposed to be here. So I think it will be helpful. I would want to know if SNIT is the only agency under the Ministry of Finance that is outstanding, that you need to appear before you. If there is the need for any other person to come, please let
Minister,
the Secretariat.
I think GIF is also, initially, last year...
GIF is here.
GIF is here.
Yes.
Then we can have GIF. Last year, SNIT was under Ministry of Employment.
Yes.
So was NPRA. And so the Secretariat placed them under Ministry of Employment. And then on that very day, Ministry of Employment comes to tell us that they are not under them, so they cannot represent them. Then we found out that they were with the Ministry of Finance.
Yes, that is true. But because your report shows them under a different ministry, that is why we also didn't bring them. So it is important that you let us know. That is why I'm asking. But GIF is here, so if you have any questions for them, I think they'll be happy to take it so they don't have to appear again. Thank you, Chairman. And I see that they did not have any infraction, so.
It is their accounts.
All right, Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. Tell us about this interest income.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Our interest income is derived mainly from portfolio and also from some amount of treasury activity. Our portfolio is funded by some international development finance institutions, and it's in hard currency. And so the income that is generated is also in hard currency. When it is translated into our accounts, depending on what the forex situation is, you can get some valuation gains out of it. So part of that increase in our income comes from the forex gains during the period.
But I see over here to net foreign exchange gains. It is here. Is that different from your?
Yes. So, Honorable Chairman, I think part of it is the balance sheet, which is the revaluation of the balance sheet itself, and then on the income line as well. The interests that come on the income line are also paid in hard currency.
Now, what constitutes your other income?
So, Honorable Chairman, the other income is mainly around management fees and commitment fees from the sponsors who come to us for project financing.
Now, I see that your impairment charges went up 121%.
Yes.
Why that?
Honorable Chairman, in the period under review, the auditors took a prudent stand for some of the projects that we had because we had just come out of the COVID sort of area, so there were some delays on some of the projects. And we had a couple of projects in the energy sector as well, and the energy sector was undergoing some restructuring as well, which put some delays on those projects as well. So that's the recommendation from our auditors to impair those ones.
Your financial position, 2022, it was 10.2 to 1, and 2023 is 10.8 to 1. That's pretty good and very impressive out there. You have any questions? Okay, Honorable Kunedu has a follow-up, please.
Thank you very much, Chairman. For purposes of clarity, he asked about your other income, and he said that is for commitment fee, consultancy fee, and that. But on the account, again, the statement of comprehensive income, you have fees income. What will constitute that? If the other incomes are those fees that you made mention of, what would be the fees income on the B?
Honorable Chairman, during the period, there were specific special projects that we gave with handling on behalf of government. So the health GIF, which is a sub-fund that was set up to manage the ChannelOne projects, there were some sort of management fees that came out of that one. And because that is separate from our core GIF, that was put on a separate line. And that's the line that you refer to.
All right, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, you are discharged.
Thank you.
With your team.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are grateful.
Minister, respectfully, we are going to look at the performance audits on the procurement and maintenance of medical equipment in teaching hospitals. The health minister is here, but we need technical staff from Ministry of Finance too. So respectfully, if you can let them come and sit to support. Yes. Thank you.